We're gonna get up here and get the cows fed here in a second, start the day, and then we are, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna be doing today. But let's feed the cows. All right, guys, the cows are fed. I forgot to push the record button. Not the first time that's happened, but you get to know about it this time. Cows are fed, cows are eating their breakfast. I have to go and get them grass today as well. I ran out of their big bale of grass. I got some small bales of alfalfa. So what I'm doing is I get big bales of grass and I feed them my big bales of grass, and then I throw in a couple of those little alfalfa mixes just to throw it in, give them that little bit of boosted feed, and then that way they get used to eating the two kinds of feed, so I'm not switching up their grass on them all the time, and then because that gives them the runs. So as these dudes are eating their breakfast, I'm going to head into town. I have two things to do today before the day gets started, really. One is I pick up my truck from the mechanic shop. Good news, bad news. Good news is the mechanic couldn't figure out what was wrong with it because it's not doing anything wrong. The bad news is whatever it's doing, I don't know that it actually got fixed. So if you don't remember, I hit a bump in my truck and it just died. The electronics sort of flickered, it died, electronics stayed on. And then it wouldn't quite crank over, so I messed with some stuff, wound up just changing out the batteries, cleaning out the terminals, all the connections, that sort of thing. It did start back up. It did die again on Shelby. We had to tow it back here, so cleaned everything up again, went through some wire connections, looked for burnt out fuses, all that stuff, and found nothing. And since we've got the big move coming where I really need my truck to be reliable and not break me down while we're moving stuff, I took it to a mechanic to have it looked at. He says he doesn't see anything wrong with it, can't get it to turn off, so we're gonna go with it. So we're gonna go pick up the truck. Hopefully that was just maybe a battery connection or maybe a light connection somewhere, and in switching out the batteries, we've tightened that down and fixed it. I'm hoping, that's wishful thinking. But then we are going to our local grocery store, who has been supplying Shelby with boxes, which is really cool, to be packing up stuff and moving. Now I know you guys are asking, well, where are you moving the stuff to? For the meantime, the in-between time, Jeremy from Living the Dream Off Grid is allowing us to stick stuff at his place. He is allowing us to move things there for the temporary time being. We are also just downsizing, right? Anytime you can get stuff out of storage and you say, hey, I haven't touched that in a year, I'm getting rid of it. So trips to the dump, probably giving some stuff away, probably passing some stuff to some friends, and then boxing up stuff to go. So that is what today consists of for mostly Shelby. For me, I have a ton of logs that I have here for firewood that I have not cut. I was going to cut them as I needed them and then keep what I could for logs for milling, but since that is not that's not going to happen, we are going to not move logs. So I got to cut a bunch of firewood today. So I'm cutting a bunch of my logs into rounds to be able to pack up and take with us, as well as getting the rest of the fencing back behind me, not this stuff, but the stuff further beyond, getting that stuff torn down. Deegan has actually done a really good job of tearing that stuff down. He got it almost all done yesterday really quick, which is pretty cool, and saved a bunch of my staples, which was also really cool. So deconstructing a farm, it's not easy. And many of you guys put in the comments that it is a ton of work to walk away from. It is a ton of work to walk away from, guys, but it is a commitment that I have already made in my head. I already knew in my head I would be building multiple homesteads before we settle on our final place where we intend to die and turn it over to the kids. But to make that the Graceland that I want it to be, we have to do a couple of these flips to generate the money to be able to build the ultimate self-sustaining homestead, so that I can basically hand my kids something in this world, right? Give them something, leave them something. That's been the goal. So yes, it is a ton of work, but I'm still capable of doing it, and I've already mentally committed to doing it. So to me, it's not a big deal. As we progress, we're able to get stuff that makes the job easier, whether that is, you know, build a shop to work in and build year-round versus getting stopped by the wintertime, or whether that is just better tools that get the job done versus having to, a lot of the stuff I carry, most of the stuff I carry, as you guys know, that the tractor is down. So instead of using a tractor to haul wood out of the woods or to pull logs, things like that, that's all me, right? Rolling logs, dragging logs, picking up logs, that sort of stuff. That is all, it's all me. As you get older, wiser, right? We'll be able to afford some better equipment to make the job easier. And like I said, the goal is to give our kids a working ranch where they can A, not go work for anybody else, but work for themselves, or B, at least give them that experience to then go out and do whatever it is they want to do. And then when Shelby and I die, they get a farm, right? That's the least we can do. But until then, it is building what Shelby and I want in a homestead, in a farm, where we want to spend the rest of our life doing what we want to do. So yes, tons of work, but that's the life we choose, guys, right? It's not about doing a bunch of work and then sitting on your butt the rest of your life. It is about staying busy. It is about doing stuff. It's about building. It's about putting in infrastructure and systems that make your life that much easier. It is about learning skills and implementing it. It is not about doing a bunch of work so that you can just sit on the couch and enjoy the work that you did. That is not our goal. So we do it again. All right, it's off to town. I can see Shelby right there giving me the look like, hey, it's time to go. So it is off to town, guys. We're gonna go get boxes. We're gonna go get my truck, and then we will, I don't know, we'll catch back up with you guys later in the day and show you some of the progress of what we're getting done. All right, guys, well, as you can hear, the cows know that I have some grass, which is pretty funny. So truck is back, running good, went and got grass, which is great, and found a couple boxes of ammo at the store today. Got my limit, my 2-box limit of some X-Tac 5.56. So that was pretty cool. So good day so far. Not getting everything done that I wanted to do. It's taking a little bit longer. I have to get all this grass offloaded, and then it is time to fire up the chainsaw and cut a bunch of rounds of wood. All right, guys, that is the last of it. This is one of the jobs I was talking about, that a little piece of equipment would really help out, being able to actually offload this with a tractor, put it up inside of a structure that keeps it dry and not just this little dude. So as you can see, maybe you can tell, it is starting to get dark. The days are just so much shorter now, and I still got to cut wood. That was the goal for today. So I got to go switch gears, put on my chaps, get my saw, and start cutting up the logs around me. Time is ticking.